You know, we all have these little rituals we do at night to fall asleep. But there's this one thing, this one incredibly common habit that connects millions of us without us even realizing it. Okay, picture this. You're all bundled up, you're cozy, but something's just not quite right. So without even really thinking about it, you slide one foot out from under the covers into that cool night air. Just like that. It's perfect. So why does that simple little move feel so incredibly good? Well, it turns out this is not just some random quirk you have. It's actually your body using this highly sophisticated, built-in superpower to basically hack its way to a better night's sleep. And today, we are going to uncover the science that makes it all work. So let's get into it, the 1-foot mystery. I mean, of all the things our bodies could do, why does sticking that 1 foot out feel so right?
First things first, if you do this, you are so not alone. Millions and millions of people use this exact same, let's call it an unconscious sleep hack every single night. It's just one of those things we do, because deep down our bodies know it works. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why is just exposing a single foot so darn effective at making us feel comfortable enough to drift off? Well, the answer, it has everything to do with your body's internal thermostat.
To really get the 1-foot trick, we first have to understand the body's main trigger for sleep. And I'm willing to bet it's probably not what you think.
So here's where we flip a really common myth right on its head. We all think that being super warm and toasty is what makes us sleepy, right? But scientifically, it's the total opposite. Your body actually needs to cool down to kickstart the whole sleep process.
Yeah, this is all about what we call your core body temperature. And that's exactly what it sounds like, the temperature deep inside, around your internal organs. To get your brain to flip that sleep switch, your core temp actually needs to drop by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. That little drop is this incredibly powerful biological signal to your brain that says, okay, time to rest.
Okay, so if your body needs to lose heat, how does it get it done efficiently? Well, turns out it's got some secret weapons for the job. You can think of them as your own personal radiators.
I mean, your body can't just magically become cooler, right? It has to physically release that heat into the room around you. And it's evolved these very specific, super effective spots to do it really fast.
And here is that secret weapon. These incredible structures called arteriovenous anastomoses, or just AVAs for short. You should think of these unique blood vessels in your hands and feet as little tiny highways. They let warm blood from your core rush directly to the surface of your skin, completely bypassing the smaller capillaries, and just dump all that heat into the air.
So this is why our hands and feet are just perfectly designed for this job. They have a ton of these AVA radiators packed into them, plus they're hairless, right? So there's no insulation trapping the heat in. And on top of all that, they've got a pretty big surface area to get the most contact with the cooler air. They are, without a doubt, the body's best heat exchange zones.
Okay, now that we know all that, we can finally understand the 2 different ways you can use your feet to cool down your core and get to sleep a whole lot faster.
So path number 1 is the one we've been talking about, the direct approach. You just stick your foot out from under the warm covers. The AVAs in your foot go to work, they release your core body heat directly into the air, your core temperature drops, and bam, your brain gets that signal that it's time for sleep. Simple and super effective.
But there is a second path. And this one is so cool because it's completely counterintuitive. What if you're one of those people who gets cold feet? Well, the answer isn't just to keep them cold, it's actually to warm them up first.
Okay, check this out. Here's how it works. When you apply warmth, like let's say you put on a pair of light socks, it triggers this process called vasodilation. Basically, the blood vessels in your feet open wide. Your body responds by sending a big rush of warm blood from your hot core all the way down to your feet. Then, that blood dumps its heat right through the skin, which cools your entire body down. It's crazy, right? Warming your feet actually cools your core.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. This is backed by some serious science. Groundbreaking research published in the journal Nature found that how much those blood vessels in your hands and feet open up is, get this, the best physiological predictor for the rapid onset of sleep. It's actually a better predictor than how sleepy you feel. And you know what? We've got hard numbers to back this up. In one study, if you just left the person alone, their foot temperature actually dropped a tiny bit over 10 minutes. But when they applied a little warming device, whoa, the temperature of their big toe shot up by almost 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that just shows you how powerful a little bit of warmth is at pulling that deep body heat right out to the surface.
And the research even tells us the sweet spot, the perfect surface skin temperature for your feet to most efficiently signal to your brain it's sleepy time is right around 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 32 to 35 Celsius. So not hot, just pleasantly warm.
So what does this all mean for you tonight when you're getting into bed? It means you have way more control over your sleep than you probably thought.
Okay, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Your hands and your feet are your body's personal thermostat. Seriously, they are the most direct, most effective tools you've got to manage your core temperature and tell your brain it's time for sleep.
All right, let's put this all together into a simple little toolkit. Your goal, lower your core body temperature. Your tools, your natural radiators, your hands and feet. Your methods, either stick a foot out to cool down directly, or, if your feet are cold, put on some light, breathable socks to do that counterintuitive trick. And finally, you can help this whole process along by keeping your bedroom cool, ideally somewhere between 63 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 17 to 20 Celsius. So next time you're tossing and turning, you'll know exactly what's going on. You're not just uncomfortable, your body is trying to use its superpower. The only question left is, what's your strategy going to be tonight? Socks on or 1 foot out?